Hello, and welcome to another episode of Coach and Coffee. Go grab yourself a coffee and come on back and sit down. Check out my M&M mug. This honestly may be the last mug that y'all haven't seen. It's I actually think this mug's hideous and everything, but it's different, so it's fun to do different things. I'm also wearing a terrain race shirt here today. I know terrain race has its fans and it has a lot of people who aren't fans. But I've done 4 terrain races, I think 3 in 2017 and maybe 1 in 2018. I think that's right. 2017 I placed, in my first one I got 3rd, the next 2 I got 2nd both times, and then in 2018 I messed up an obstacle, so I fell back, and then I took a sandbag twice as long as I was supposed to because I didn't know where to turn around. And then on one of the carries, it's like this bar that you hold across your back like a yoke, and there was a tire hanging from a chain on each side, and about 100 feet into the carry, one of the tires fell off. And if I don't do things exactly to the rules, I feel like I cheated, and I never want to feel like I cheated. So I took the thing back and put it down and grabbed a new one and finished it with that. Anyway, I ended up getting 9th at that one. So that ruined my podium streak at terrain race, and honestly I've never done one, not done one since, and I've heard they've changed a lot, but I thought they were enjoyable and they were inexpensive, so they were fun while they lasted. I know a lot of people question safety and stuff. Hopefully they're fixing those things, but anyway, this isn't about terrain race. It is 8:52 p.m. right now. I know I normally film these in the morning with the coffee, and some of you may be saying, Joel, it's too late for coffee. And it's never too late for coffee, so we're going to go on anyway. We are talking about preparedness. This is going to be a short episode because we kind of encompass preparedness in all of the episodes we do, in all of the articles we post, in all of the social media content we put out. It's all about being prepared. But it's so important to have that idea in mind when you're going into a race or planning, especially planning for a race. So I've seen a lot of posts up lately since races are being canceled and brought back and canceled and brought back, and it's a wonderful debacle. But people are doing what they can. Some people are planning for races for next year already, just hoping we'll be able to go then, and I hope so too. But in that, they're talking about, I'm going to sign up for West Virginia in 2021 if it doesn't happen this year. And to that I say, good, time to start preparing. I like to look at being prepared and preparation as kind of a sports car. So think of if you're a Ford guy, think of your Mustangs. If you're Chevy, think about, your Camaros. If you're into like foreign cars, they're like Bentleys and Bugattis and Ferraris and Porsche and all those cars. Think about whatever fancy car you love and think about it as being preparedness. Or, well, yes. Preparedness is the key that gets you into your fancy schmancy car. The fancy schmancy car is a great result at a race. Without preparedness, you're probably going to have to smash a window in. I'm not promoting crime, by the way. You're probably going to have to smash a window in. If you want to get the car moving, you're going to have to hotwire the sucker. So, if you are prepared, if you have the key, it's a much simpler process, and you keep your sweet car nice, and the result is great. So, treat your upcoming races like you would your fancy schmancy, wonderful, luxurious car, and be prepared. Be able to walk up to that race, turn the key, unlock the door, get in, turn on the car, and go. It's my analogy, and I'm sticking to it. In all seriousness, though, no matter how good or bad that analogy is, I kind of like it, just because I like thinking about fancy cars sometimes. But if you are not prepared, the race is going to be terrible for you. When you go to plan a race or sign up for a race, you should be looking at when is the race. Is the race in the summer or is the race in the winter? Is it in the fall or is it in the spring? What time of year is the race? Also, where geographically is that race? Because that's obviously going to be a big factor, again, depending on time of year. If it's going to be in Florida in the summertime, you're going to have a hot race. You better be prepared for that. It's very likely that it's going to rain. It might be a downpour, it may be a sprinkle, but you know, you have pretty good chance of rain no matter what. It could happen and it could not happen, but if you're not prepared for it and it does happen, you're going to have a bad race or not perform the best that you could, and we always want to perform the best that we can. If you're racing in Vermont or Massachusetts in the wintertime, it's obviously going to be very cold. There may or may not be snow. Do you know that there won't be snow? Probably not. So prepare for that if you at all possibly can. You know it's going to be cold, so prepare by training in the cold. Be prepared. What type of terrain is the race going to be on? Are you going to be on super rocky trails, or are you going to be on much nicer, you know, softer ground without lots of rock and roots and all those types of things? Choose your shoe depending on that. Be prepared with your footwear. What type of sock are you going to wear? For many races, it comes down to just having a durable sock. So if you're thinking about wearing a junky, cheap sock for a race, maybe decide against it. Maybe get something a little bit nicer. Just depends on the race. For a longer race, I can tell you from experience, the longer the race gets, the more you're going to want a sock that you enjoy to wear. It makes a load of difference. As far as, are you going to wear pants or are you going to wear shorts? Compression, not compression. For the most part, I would just recommend people wear compression gear because things aren't flopping around, getting caught on things nearly as much and everything. But are you going to wear pants or shorts? Why? I always wear pants even if it's super hot out because it doesn't really bother me wearing pants, compression pants in the heat. And historically, I shred up my legs at races. My knees get ripped apart on crawls, going up obstacles and everything. And I ended up not having time to heal between races, so I just keep reopening things, scrapes and cuts and bruises all over. So I started wearing compression pants. That issue went away. It was much more comfortable racing. I didn't have to think about those things. I just focused on the racing. So what type of clothing are you going to be wearing? What type of compression gear? Are you going to wear a shirt? Why or why not? A lot of guys race without a shirt because they want to look cooler. But maybe there's a benefit to wearing a shirt sometimes. Normally I race without a shirt because it's way more comfortable for me to not, especially when there's water obstacles. I don't want that thing getting soaked and dragging me down or adding extra weight. I greatly prefer going without one. But like at the North Carolina Ultra last year, 2019, I wore like a pullover thing because it started raining and it was a little bit cool. And on the second lap, I switched the pullover out for like a thicker, it wasn't waterproof, it's hard to describe, but it was a different type of pullover, different type of material. And had I not done that, I would have been far more miserable than I was because I would have been freezing with nothing to break the cool air as it hit me. So be prepared. It goes without saying with all of our videos that and all of our content, we're all about being prepared, especially with your training. So always plan on the goal at hand. If you have 2 races coming up, one's a sprint, one's a beast, which one are you going to train for? If you said the sprint, maybe you're a competitive athlete and the sprint's your main one and you're just going to do the beast for fun, fine. But if you're just an average racer who's just trying to go out and do really well and push themselves and compete, train for the beast. If you can do a beast, you can do a sprint. If you can do a sprint, doesn't mean you can do a beast. So train. Be prepared. It's like all my brain ever thinks about is preparing. So I always don't get it when people don't. To a certain extent, I kind of understand why, because you can't be prepared for everything all the time, and honestly, it's a ton of work. And if OCR is not your life, kind of like it's been my life for the past several years, ooh, a lightning bug, then maybe you're just not as interested in being that prepared for it. But that's why we're here to help you. We're here to help you prepare and perform at the best of your ability. If you have questions, by all means, comment below. Send us an email at info@triofitlife.com. We love getting emails from people. We get a lot of inquiries. We don't expect people to sign up just because they're asking us questions. We are happy to answer questions. And then if you decide that training for OCR and getting coaching from us is the right thing for you, cool, awesome, we'd love to have you. That is it for this episode of Coach and Coffee. The sun is going down. My coffee is running out, and it's time to go. I will see you next time.